Welcome back, everyone. We're getting some results has been announced from Liberia. We'll give them to you as we'll process them. It looks so much that about 98% of the result has been processed. Some breaking news coming from the Electoral Commission from Monrovia, Liberia, as the result being turned in Monrovia, Liberia. We'll give them to you in just a moment. Let's get back to the issue. The major issues in governance are accountability and transparency, especially when it comes to government spendings. A group in River State wants the details of the state budget made public. They said the governor has made it a secret document since he gained power. They're also asking questions about how the 3 tranches of the Paris Club refund is being spent. Let's continue with the conversation now. Mr. Livingstone Wike is the Executive Director of the Integrity Group. Thank you so much for your time on the program today. Unfortunately, we've reached out to the River State government, and we do hope that they will be able to come with some explanation on some of these issues. We do hope that they have some to explain on some of these issues. But then the question is, you're asking, and my curiosity comes in the fact that a document is presented to the National Assembly, not an empty document. And so at that moment, it's made public. Because if you look at Section 50, Section 80 of the Nigerian Constitution, it does not say specifically of how these documents should be made public.
Now, in law, there is what they call common knowledge. Laws are usually made for the public and not for private consumption. The budget is like the Bible of governance. As a matter of fact, the secrecy of River State budgets has cost us more harm than good. There is a current situation. The Delta State government just got a grant of $3 million from the World Bank because one of the conditions given was transparency in governance and open budgets. River State government, the current administration, lost a $200 million grant from the World Bank because of the secrecy of budget at the point when the application was made. Yes, between 2015, there was an application for a World Bank water project in River State made by the previous Rotimi Amaechi administration. And they carried on in this administration, and the World Bank made a specific demand that the budget be published so they know how these monies will be expended. This fact has been tabled several times and has not been challenged by the River State government.
Would you go to court? Should this government, the 2018 budget has not been presented by the government?
Some groups have commenced legal proceedings on the issue of the secrecy of River State government budget. Now, let me also state clearly that there is a group called that is called Budgets. I had reached out to them earlier in the year to request that they come and carry out a profiling of River State government as per the budgets. But they sold out after I furnished them with every information needed. And I requested further that they should, because they went ahead to publish a rating, ranking River State #1 in terms of transparency and sustainability in governance. And I wrote them officially asking that they come up with the criteria with which they came up with that ranking, and they could not respond to you today. So the question now arises, why is the River State government hiding our budget?
All right.
River State has not recorded since 2015 till date under this administration any foreign direct investment owing to the secrecy.
Let's get some legal perspective to this. Mr. Daniel Bwala joins us now on the telephone from Borno State. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to take you out of your peaceful holiday. Give us some perspective to this matter, Mr. Bwala. Is the River State government, by law, obliged to make the document of the budget, even when it's been presented at the House of Assembly public?
Right. Thank you for having me, and happy holiday. If you look at the combined effect of certain sections of the law, especially if you look at Section 16, Section 59, Section 80, Section 81 of the Constitution, and you look at Section 3 of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, and then Section 1, 2, 3, and 4 of the Freedom of Information Act. The combined effect of these sections of the law, no budget is expected to be shrouded in secrecy. Every budget must be open to all.
So what is the definition of secrecy now? Because as soon as the budget is presented to the House of Assembly, isn't it already public?
Right. If a budget is presented to either the National Assembly or House of Assembly of the state, don't forget that the constitutional definition of a budget is an estimate of the revenue and expenditure of the government. So once it is presented to the National Assembly or House of Assembly of a state, then consequently or subsequently, the budget must be broken down in such a way that every ministry should be able to have, in a nutshell, an idea of the revenue and expenditure of that ministry. And Freedom of Information Act in Section 1, 2, 3, and 4, it says that every information in the custody of an institution of the government must be displayed in such a way that it can be understood, it can be read, and it can be appreciated by all. And so no government is expected at any material time to hide budgetary estimation or allocation of the government. But you see, there is one point that is very important here. By the doctrine of separation of power, the National Assembly or House of Assembly of a state are the ones empowered by law to checkmate the executive and ensure that the budget is not only transparent, but it is disposed. That is contained in Section 16 and Section 59 of the Constitution.
So, I mean, just quickly, if you punch on this, Mr. Bwala, as it stands now, is the Rivers State government against any law by probably not putting it online or not making copies public to civil rights organization or what have you? If any organization goes to court, will the Rivers State government be found wanting?
Yes, if you look at Section 1 and Section 2 of the Freedom of Information Act, it states in the effect, to the effect in clear terms, that the person who is seeking for the disclosure of information in the custody of the agency of the government does not need to show that he has special interest in it or that the outcome of the document is going to affect him. So any organization, in my opinion, that approaches the court, the organization or individual is going to have a local standard in this circumstance.
All right, Mr. Bwala, thank you so much. Let me allow you go enjoy your holiday, the rest of your holiday with your family. Thank you so much for your time. Now, let's round up this conversation now. Going forward, what are you looking at? 2018 budget, do you think it will be made public?
I doubt. Now, it's my view that the governor of Rivers State, with all due respect, has run the states in mischief and deceit owing to the continuous, secrecy of our state budget. The budget should tell each citizen what is meant for his local government, for his ward, and the rest of them. The citizens of Rivers State have been shut out as per monitoring these projects and knowing what is due them in terms of citizenship participation in governance. So the Rivers State governor must know that he's committing a heinous crime. He's misleading the states. And in doing so, we are demanding that he publishes to show that indeed he's not a thief. He should publish our budget so that we can scrutinize further.
Those words are too strong.
So that, those are your words. Evident. These are my words.
Thank you so much.
We're insisting that he should publish them, or the House of Assembly should not pass, or else it shows that they are complicit in this crime.
Wike, Executive Director of the Integrity Group, thank you so much for your time on the program tonight. We do hope to hear from the Rivers State government. But as we go, 100% of the result in Liberia election has not yet been turned in. 98.1% have been turned in, and we can tell you that the commission has announced 98% of that result, and Judge Ware is in the lead. We give you details still with Channels Television. And that's our show for today. Many thanks for being part of it. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.